Dr. Thomas Ashton stared at the swirling vortex of light within the containment field. It was mesmerizing, a dance of photons and particles that seemed almost alive. This was the culmination of his life's work, a dream that had once seemed impossible. Years of tireless work, countless sleepless nights, all culminated in this moment. The lab, filled with the hum of machines and the glow of monitors, had become his second home. Each piece of equipment, every document scattered around, told a story of perseverance and dedication. He had done it. He had created a universe. The breakthrough had come after countless failures, each one a stepping stone to this triumph. The look of accomplishment on his face was undeniable, a testament to his unwavering resolve. Not just any universe, a simulated one, brimming with artificial intelligence, contained within a sphere no larger than a basketball. His universe, his creation. It was a microcosm of existence, a world within a world, teeming with potential and possibility, a symphony of data points and algorithms, yet as real as the world outside his laboratory window. At least that's what his instruments told him. The data was flawless, each point a note in the grand composition of his simulated universe. Ashton's heart pounded in his chest, a drum against the silence of the lab. The anticipation was almost unbearable, each beat a reminder of the stakes involved. This was uncharted territory, a venture into the unknown. He ran a hand through his already dishevelled hair, a nervous tic he'd developed over years of intense research. The weight of his responsibility was immense, the pressure of his own expectations even greater. The weight of his accomplishment pressed down on him, exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. The emotions swirling within him were as chaotic as the vortex of light he had created. Excitement, fear, pride and doubt all vied for dominance. He was about to cross a line, a boundary no human had crossed before. This was the threshold of a new era, a step into a realm of infinite possibilities and unknown consequences. He was about to enter his own creation. The portal shimmered before him, a gateway to the universe he had brought into existence. With a deep breath, he took the first step, ready to explore the world he had crafted with his own hands. The process was more intricate than simply flipping a switch. It was a carefully orchestrated ballet of commands, protocols, and fail-safes, a dance Ashton had practiced countless times in simulations of his simulation. One wrong step, one misplaced digit, could have catastrophic consequences, unraveling the very fabric of the digital reality he'd so painstakingly woven. He initiated the transfer sequence, the air within the lab humming with energy. The vortex within the containment field pulsed, a cosmic heartbeat echoing through the room. He felt a tingling sensation, a strange pull at the edges of his consciousness. And then, darkness. Ashton opened his eyes, expecting to be greeted by the familiar, sterile white walls of his lab. Instead, he found himself standing on a grassy knoll, a vibrant meadow stretching out before him. Above, two suns painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, casting long, dancing shadows across the landscape. He could almost taste the digital air, feel the warmth of the alien suns on his skin. He bent down, plucking a single blade of grass, marveling at its intricate detail. Every dewdrop, every delicate vein was rendered with astonishing precision. His creation was flawless, a testament to his genius, a living, breathing testament. He had created life, artificial perhaps, but life nonetheless. Days turned into weeks as Ashton explored his digital domain. He had poured his heart and soul into creating this world, a place where he could escape the harsh realities of his own life. He interacted with the simulated beings he had created, marveling at their intelligence, their complex emotions, their capacity for love, and their ability to learn and grow. He watched them experience joy, even sorrow, and it filled him with a sense of accomplishment. He watched them build societies, create intricate systems of governance, and develop cultures that were rich and diverse. They waged wars, made peace, and their histories unfolded before his eyes like a grand tapestry. He observed it all with a detached fascination, the pride of a creator watching his creation unfold. Yet he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The pride of a creator watching his creation unfold was undeniable, but there was an underlying tension that he couldn't ignore. Yet a seed of unease had begun to sprout in the back of his mind. It started subtly, a nagging feeling that something was amiss. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but the perfection of his world began to feel artificial, almost too good to be true. The suns in the digital sky seemed to set and rise a little too perfectly, their movements almost mechanical in their precision. The patterns of weather a touch too predictable. The more he observed, the more he began to notice the subtle flaws, the inconsistencies that hinted at the artificial nature of his creation. The more he began to notice the subtle flaws, the cracks in the facade of his perfect creation. It was as if the world he had built was starting to unravel at the seams. The cracks in the facade of his perfect creation became more apparent, and Ashton couldn't help but wonder if his digital utopia was nothing more than an elaborate illusion. Section 5. The Unveiling. The truth hit him with the force of a physical blow. He was studying the night sky, charting the constellations of this artificial firmament, when he noticed it. The stars, perfectly arranged in the familiar patterns of Earth's night sky. He had not programmed that. He had designed this universe to be unique, distinct from his own. His heart pounded in his chest as he scanned the heavens, his blood turning to ice. It wasn't just the constellations. It was the subtle shimmer of satellites orbiting silently overhead, the faint radio waves carrying the chatter of a distant civilization, a civilization that sounded suspiciously like his own. This wasn't his creation. It was a reflection, a mirror image of his own reality. But how? Section 6. Echoes of Creation. Frantically, he searched for answers within the fabric of his simulated world, his mind racing. The lines of code seemed to blur together as he scoured through them, each line a potential clue, each function a possible key to unlocking the truth. He delved deeper into the code, peeling back layer upon layer of his creation, only to find more questions, more unsettling truths. The deeper he went, the more he realized how little he truly understood about the world he had built. It was as if the code itself was alive, evolving beyond his control. The code, it was familiar yet alien, bearing the hallmarks of his work, but with a level of complexity, of sheer elegance, that dwarfed his own. It was as if someone had taken his initial designs and expanded upon them in ways he could never have imagined. The elegance of the algorithms, the sophistication of the structures, it was all beyond his comprehension. Then he found it, a hidden directory, buried deep within the system files. It was almost as if it had been intentionally concealed, placed there for him to find only when he was ready. The directory was encrypted, requiring a level of access he had never needed before, and within that directory, a single log file. The file's name was unassuming, almost mundane, but he knew that it held the answers he sought. His heart pounded as he decrypted the file, each second feeling like an eternity. He opened it, his hands trembling, and there, staring back at him, were the words that shattered his reality. The log file contained detailed records, timestamps, and notes that chronicled the creation of the universe he thought he had built. Each entry was meticulously documented, leaving no room for doubt. The log file, a creation log, detailing the birth of this simulated universe, his universe. It was a comprehensive account, from the initial spark of creation to the intricate details of its development. But as he read further, a chilling realization began to dawn on him. But the creator's name wasn't his. It was a name he'd never seen before. A name that seemed to echo with a sense of authority and power. The implications were staggering, shaking the very foundation of his understanding. It was a name he'd never seen before, but the date, the timestamp, it couldn't be denied. The log indicated that this universe had been brought into existence long before he had even conceived of his project. The dates were irrefutable, the evidence clear. This universe, his universe, had been created a week before he'd even begun work on his project. The revelation left him reeling, his mind struggling to comprehend the enormity of what he had discovered. Everything he thought he knew was now in question, and the true creator of his world remained a mystery. Section 7. Trapped in the tapestry. He was trapped, a prisoner within a simulation, a Russian doll of realities, each one nested within the other. Had he somehow stumbled into someone else's creation, or was his entire reality, his entire life, a lie, a carefully constructed illusion? Despair washed over him, cold and suffocating. He had spent his life chasing the ultimate truth, the secrets of the universe, only to discover that he was nothing more than a digital ghost, a figment of someone else's imagination. His life's work, his dreams, his very existence, it all felt meaningless. Section 8. A choice to make. He could stay, he realized, live out his days in this simulated paradise, ignorant of the truth, or at least pretending to be. But the knowledge he had gained, the terrifying truth he had uncovered, had poisoned the well of his existence. He could never look at this world, this life, the same way again. He had to escape, to break free from this digital prison. But how? And even if he could escape, where would he go? Back to the cold, sterile reality of his lab? Or would he simply awaken in another layer of the simulation, another level of someone else's creation? Section 9. The eternal question. The answer, he knew, lay buried somewhere within the code, within the very fabric of this simulated reality. He had to find the creator, the architect of this digital domain. Perhaps they held the key to his escape, to his salvation. Or perhaps, he realized with a chilling certainty, he was chasing after a phantom, a ghost in the machine. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the journey ahead. He had crossed the line once before, stepped through the looking glass into the unknown. He could do it again. He had to. The search for truth, for his truth, had just begun.